I think, the most incredible piece of technology that we have. Like, I'm very optimistic about the world. Like, you could look at the state of the world and go, it's terrible. But I look at America, I look at the UK, and I look at the footfall. So where do people want to come? Well, they want to come and they want to live here, right? And what's the most important piece of technology in America? I would argue the Constitution. The Constitution, you sort of don't think of it as a piece of technology, but it really is. And it's allowed all of this.
It's an operating system.
It's a brilliant operating system. And you can prove that culture is downstream of institutions.
And freedom.
Because you go, look at, okay, here's the great examples, right? East and West Germany, North and South Korea.
Right.
Exactly the same people. Like, exactly the same, culturally. And they got this system, they got this system, East and West Germany. You got the Stasi over here, hell on earth. North Korea, whatever the fuck is going on there.
Right.
And then you get South Korea, flourishing.
Right.
Incredible culture. You get West Germany.
I got
brilliant.
another one for
Kraftwerk.
you. Cuba and Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're exactly
Miami's
right.
only 90 miles away.
But okay, so here's the thing. How many people in the world now? 9 billion, 8 billion? It's a lot.
Something.
Right? 500 million okay, so there's the UK, there's the US, there's Canada, there's Australia. Okay, they're all, ex-British colonies.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take the win. But those institutions are set up in a certain way that's allowed a flourishing where people want to come here.
Yeah.
Okay, so either we accept 9 billion people into our countries, or we export our institutions. I think we should be writing or coming up with great constitutions for nations that we want to see in the future.
You and I think very much alike. I've said the same thing. I said the highlight when people are talking about immigration into this country, one of the big ones is, wouldn't you do this if you were in another world? Of course I would. If I lived in a third world country and I had a chance to make a better life and come to America, 100% I would do it. But the real question is, why is it so bad over there, and what can we do to make that better? Instead of bringing them in here to make their lives better, why not make the whole world? It's possible to make the only problem with that is you lose your cheap labor.
Okay. Well, it's the right wing in America that the idea of going, okay, we're going to get rid of the southern border to bring in cheap labor is a crazy idea, because all we're doing is we outsource. And this problem has been, was ever thus. George Orwell was once asked, what do you think of the British working classes? And he said, they live in India. He's a smart guy. But that globalization, the idea of going...
Along with tech help.
But it's the idea of we often export our the things that we're conscious about. So we go, okay, so we shut down all the coal mines in the UK, and now we import coal. Okay, is that... it's
that better?
It's one world we live in.
Right, they're not even under union rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting unethically sourced coal.
It's the whole of humanity matters. Mm-hmm. It's that Derek Parfit's that brilliant guy who is a philosopher. He wrote this brilliant thing called Reasons and Persons. It's a brilliant book, and it's kind of about that idea that you got to care about humanity temporally and spatially. You got to care about people in the future, and you got to care about people everywhere.
Yeah.
And the idea of you go, look, we've got to make the places people are fleeing from livable. And I think we have proved over the last 50 years, regime change is not what we're great at. Right, so it comes down to...
We're going to get it right one of these days.
Sure.
Just give it a chance.
Sure.
It's like the first car wasn't a good car either, but now we have really good cars. It just takes time,
sure,
Jimmy.
Sure.
We just need to practice more.
Here's what I think it is: agency and empathy on a global scale.
Yeah.
So it's like giving those nations that are in horrific trouble and that no one seems to care about agency.
Yeah.
But maybe it's that thing of like going the American Constitution. I don't know where it was written, but it was like I think it was like intellectuals from around the world were like chipping in with ideas, and they came up with this incredible document. And look at the flourishing that's come out of it. Look at what it's achieved. Like imagine if something like that happens in China. Imagine in our lifetime that they go with a different system, and it's more, because at the moment China's kind of it's a covers band.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It takes a lot of intellectual property, and it has its own version of Facebook and its own version of Google and its own version of. But it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about America that allows this entrepreneurial spirit that allowed Silicon Valley to happen?
Well, they've got an interesting approach because they still have a very entrepreneurial spirit as well. They've got a weird sort of a merging of communism and capitalism. Like it's state-run capitalism. But they still have insane innovation. Like China's technological innovation is probably greater than ours in a lot of areas. In the areas of electric vehicles, for sure. In the areas of drones, for sure. I don't know if you saw this, but there was some sort of a Mothership drone that they're going to launch. That is this enormous vehicle that drones can launch off of, and
okay, I mean, this feels like
it's dangerous. It's like they have some spectacular drone capabilities, and they also have electric cars that if you don't follow these obscure car review people online that review Chinese electric cars, you'd have no idea. Like these cars are insane. They have cars that do like a 360. Like it'll sit there parked and it'll just spin in a circle if you want to. So if you want to take a U-turn, instead of having to go all the way around, your car will just spin around in a circle and go back the other way. Weird stuff, man. Like insane technology inside the vehicles, like spectacular looking cars. Yeah, they're on the verge of, passing us in many areas because there's a lot of regulation in regards to drone technology, in particular in this country. If you want to be a drone pilot,
is that gonna change now?
I don't know.
Ukraine. I mean, that's the first drone war.
I don't know. It's all scary. The drone thing is weird because if you allow everyone to have drones, like you'd get that sometimes where like you see people dealing with drones over their house. Like, is that legal? Can you just fly over my fucking house with a drone? Turns out it is. Turns out it is legal.
Well, how much of it as well? Like, I mean, I'm talking to the right guy here, but how much of the alien stuff that we watched in the 1950s and 60s was that technology being tested in America?
So this is the drone mothership.
This is the drone
mothership that China's created. So this is an enormous ship that can send thousands of drones.
Do you think it would be sensible for you and I to pledge allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party now? Sort of on the record?
We should learn
just in
Mandarin.
case.
I think it's a good time to learn Mandarin. I think
wow,
John Cena was right.